So, you've put in the hours, you've mastered the grammar, you know tons of vocabulary. But when you speak English, something just feels a little off, right? Well, today, we're not going to talk about what you say, but how you say it. We are going to unlock the hidden music of English so your speech can finally flow just as naturally as a native speaker's.
It's the question pretty much every learner asks at some point. You've got all the right words, the grammar is perfect, so what is missing? Here's the thing. It's not about the words themselves, it's about the beat. It's what we'll call the rhythm gap, that little space between just saying words and actually speaking in musical phrases. Okay, so let's jump right into this rhythm gap. The key to closing it is like a secret code. It's a set of rules for rhythm and melody that native speakers use completely unconsciously. And guess what? In the next few minutes, we're going to crack that code wide open, together. All right, here is secret number 1. Fluent English is not spoken one word at a time. No way. It's spoken in groups of words, or chunks. You might hear these called thought groups, and they are the absolute foundation of natural-sounding rhythm.
Let me show you what I mean. Take this sentence. If I read every single word with the exact same importance, it sounds like a robot. However, over the last few decades, the rate of increase has grown rapidly. You can understand it, sure, but there's no life to it, no flow. Now, just watch what happens when we add a few tiny little pauses. Listen closely. However, over the last few decades, the rate of increase has grown rapidly. Hear that? That's the difference. That is the power of chunking.
So what are these chunks exactly? Well, they're just groups of words that naturally belong together, both in their meaning and their grammar. It's basically how our brains organize our thoughts into bite-sized pieces before we speak. So instead of one long, overwhelming string of words, we're delivering a few clear, distinct phrases.
Okay, so you've got your chunks down. The next secret builds right on top of that. Inside each of those chunks, one word gets the spotlight. We call this the prominent word. So how do you find that special word? The rule of thumb is actually pretty simple. It's almost always the last important content word in the chunk. You know, a noun, a verb, an adjective, the word that carries the newest and most critical piece of information.
Let's go back to our sentence and try this out. This time, I want you to listen for the stress, for that one word in each chunk that pops. However, over the last few decades, the rate of increase has grown rapidly. That extra punch on decades, increase, and rapidly, that's the very heartbeat of the sentence.
Now we get to the really musical part, intonation. That's just a fancy word for the tune or the melody of your voice. And it all happens on that prominent word we just found. It's how we signal our true meaning, beyond just the definitions of the words. It tells the listener if we're done with a thought or if there's more to come. And in English, there are really two fundamental tones we use constantly. The first one is a falling tone, where your pitch just drops down. And the second is a rising tone, where your pitch glides up. These two simple movements, they are incredibly powerful. And each tune sends a very different message. A falling tune, well, that usually signals that you're done. You're giving new information and the thought feels complete. But a rising tune, that suggests the information isn't new or that you're not quite finished speaking. It can sound like a question or like you're leaving the door open. And picking the right tune is so crucial because the wrong intonation can lead to some serious confusion. You might be saying one thing, but your listener could be hearing something completely different, all because of the melody you used. For example, listen to this sentence and pay attention to the falling tone on the word money. I didn't say he stole the money. That stress, that fall, it implies a contrast. What I'm really saying is, you've got it wrong. He didn't steal the money, he stole the car. See how changing that one prominent word completely shifts the hidden meaning? Okay, we're at our final secret to sounding natural, and this one is all about flow. It's about how fluent speakers don't leave these little awkward gaps between words. Instead, they blend and link sounds together, making their speech so much faster and smoother.
And a huge part of this is something called weak forms. You see those small grammatical words like to, for, or They're almost never stressed. Their vowel sound gets squished down into a super short, lazy, neutral sound called a schwa. Honestly, pronouncing these little words too clearly is one of the biggest giveaways of a non-native speaker.
For instance, if you say every single word perfectly like you're reading from a book, it sounds like this: I am going to see her. You can really hear that strong ooh and to and the in her.
Yeah, it's grammatically perfect, but it's not how people actually talk.
Here's how that really sounds in a natural, connected conversation. I'm going to see her. Did you catch that? Going to just melts into gonna, and her softens to the simple, unstressed It's faster, it's way smoother, and it's instantly more authentic.
And to get that seamless flow, we don't just weaken vowels, we literally link words together. If one word ends in a vowel and the next one starts with one, like in so I, they connect. A consonant at the end of a word will jump over to a vowel at the start of the next one, like in pick it up. It's all about making one continuous stream of sound.
So, let's wrap this all up. Here is your 4-step guide to unlocking the music of English. First, you chunk it. Group your words into thought groups. Second, you stress it. Make the most important word in each chunk prominent. Third, you tune it. Give that word a melody with rising or falling intonation. And finally, you connect it. Smooth everything out with weak forms and linking.
Now that you know these secrets, you're going to start hearing them everywhere. In movies, on the radio, in songs, in every conversation. So the only question left is, where are you going to listen for it first? What's the first conversation where you'll stop just listening to the words and you'll start to actually hear the music?